Guys, what's happening? It's Rowie here to bring you an exclusive ball review video. I've had the pleasure, and I must say a huge thank you to Simon from Advanced Pro Shops Australia. Go check him out if you'd like to have a look at some of the best Cubica AMF gear on the market at the moment. I have the pleasure of bringing you guys this piece. Now, there's been a lot of questions about what's actually in the box, and I'm about to show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a collab video. So I'm going to show you guys what's in the box, and then comparing this ball to a previous piece of equipment that Simon drilled up for me. So that was the Destiny Solid from Ebonite. This is not a Destiny Solid, as you can see on the box there. It looks like it, but it's not. It's one of the latest releases from Columbia 300. So without further ado, guys, I'll put you out of your misery and show you what it is. Alright, so let's see if we can do this without wrecking the thing. Now, what I'm going to do before I open it, as I said, I'm going to do a bit of a collab video. So I'm going to do a bit of a discussion around what the ball is all about in terms of the tech specs, as best as I possibly can. Then I'm going to head down to Shell Harbour Bowl. Shout out to Shell Harbour Bowl. And I'm going to have a bit of a roll. I'm going to have a roll with this, fresh out of the box, not even thrown one ball with it yet. Give you guys the first impression out of the box to see basically what it does for me. You know, I'm a left-hander with a reasonable amount of hand, a fair amount of ball speed. So you guys are going to see what happens on a 41-foot regular house shot down there. Our 41 feet plays similar to, say, maybe give or take probably a 38-foot pattern. In a lot of other centers it tends to play a little bit shorter, a little bit less volume. So you guys are going to see, I'm hoping, a fair bit of hook. But without further ado, as I said, we're going to open it up. I'm going to get down to the lanes, throw it out of the box, quite literally. And then I'm going to show you guys a bit of a comparison video between that and my Destiny Solid from Ebonite, which has had roughly, I'm going to say, 25-30 games on it. Talk a little bit about the differences and basically what the two bowling balls could do for you guys as well. So, here we go. Wondering what people are thinking it's going to be. There's the painted C300 logo on it. I used to throw a lot of C300. I've thrown a lot of other stuff recently, but now we're back to some Columbia 300 stuff. There it is, the baller. So this is one of Columbia's latest releases. As I said, it's one of the high performance bowling balls in the lineup. It should, with the amount of surface, the core inside it, and everything going on, should hook quite a fair bit. I'm going to give you guys a bit of detail on that in a moment, but you know, basically I'm expecting this thing to be a monster in comparison to the Destiny Solid. Now, in terms of the Destiny Solid, what I've found so far, I'm just going to flip the camera around here. In terms of the Destiny Solid so far, what I found after that 30 odd games, in actual fact, I've gone down in weight, so I've gone from 16 to 15. Choice of Simon's, and what I'm actually seeing is a fair amount of increased ball motion at the moment with the difference in weight, but also with the Destiny Solid, and a little bit of game shine on it. I'm seeing still a lot of energy saved in the front and the middle part of the lane, and a really, really strong back end. So it's going to be that kind of ball for me when the lanes start to break down a little bit and I really need to get in and just absolutely get around the ball and start to see some shape. I've seen a lot of different people throw this ball, but for me it's that option where I really need to stand a little bit further right and I need to get the ball just with a bit of angle, just hooking for me. I had some pretty okay success with it so far. It's been pretty phenomenal. So what I'm hoping to see out of the baller is I'm hoping to see probably, you know, a little bit more mid lane, and overall probably a lot more shape. So this ball hopefully is going to be the first ball out of my bag when the lanes are pretty fresh, when I've got to deal with a little bit more volume, and when I've really just got to get something to move, when I'm really absolutely struggling to get it to shape up and do much. So we'll see how we go. That's my initial impression. I'm going to talk to you guys in a moment about the tech spec side of things, and then we're going to head down to Shill Harbour. We're going to have a roll with both balls. So here's the numbers on the baller first of all. You got that ERT hybrid cover stop. A lot of people are describing this ball as a ball reaction that's never been seen from Columbia 300. You're going to hear that about a lot of bowling balls, but for me, I'm pretty excited to throw this. It's an asymmetric as well, so I tend to use all of my asymmetric bowling balls on those lane conditions where I do need to see a little bit of earlier ball motion. And with that 500 over 2000 Abralon start on the cover, whoop, basically I'm probably going to see a little bit earlier movement than say the Destiny Solid in comparison to these numbers. Whoa, that is terrible. There we go. So the core is called the big time core. Pretty aggressive core, to be honest, guys. We're going to see a fair bit of motion, as I said, and I hope. 2.52 radius of gyration, differential 0.052. The layout that I got on this thing, now this is the one thing I will show you guys. You can see the pin above the fingers, CG down below the thumb. Again, I'm probably going to see a fair bit of motion out of this ball, I'm not going to lie. The layout is reasonably aggressive, but I'm going to be interested to see, you know, basically the difference between the Destiny Solid. Is this going to really start to make its move a lot sooner, or is the Destiny Solid going to be similar in ball reaction? I anticipate that because the cover is a little fresher and a little duller, it's probably going to be a beast and hook a little bit earlier. So we'll see. And if we have a look at the specs on, and if I can get a better shot of that, oh, it's really struggling to zoom. That's the Destiny Solid, part of their lower excuse me, sorry, their lower mid performance, which basically those medium to medium light conditions on the lanes, as you might see them referred to, whereas this is a high performance, which is for those heavy to heavy medium. This one lower, being medium to medium light. Again, I must say, for this bowling ball, it is a monster. It absolutely, just every time I put it in my hand, it hooks. I can't tell you enough about that. So the tech specs, so 500, 1000, 3000, a little bit shinier out of the box, and again, it's got a fair bit of game shine on it. I haven't touched the cover since I've thrown it, so basically it's pretty much out of box with game shine. So again, you'll probably see a reasonably bit more length, but you'll still see overall a pretty aggressive roll and reaction on the ball. And in terms of, and if I can get my screen to work, it is symmetric. So again, you tend to see just that little bit more long and strong kind of ball reaction from a symmetric ball, as opposed to your core in this thing, which will probably try and get the ball to start up a little bit sooner, and overall probably be a bit stronger. Now, if we go down to the RG and differential, you can see 2.53 and 0.53. Essentially what this means, irregardless of irregardless of layout, and I will show you the layout on the Destiny Solid later, but basically with the higher RG, slightly higher than the excuse me, the baller, you're going to see a little bit more length. So the higher that number, the more length you're going to get. Not overly up on tech specs, but I do know that much. If you guys want to know a little bit more about that side of things, do feel free to ask me in the comments on the video, and I can find out a bit more about that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an insight into that. There's the core as well. They call the core the Cyclone Torque core. That's what it looks like. So yeah, we're going to go and see how these two pieces of equipment compare to each other. Really excited to throw this thing. See how we go. Throw this thing, first shot out of the box, see what happens. Move a fair bit more.
First thoughts?
That was pretty good. I like that shot. It's longish, but my god, does that thing want to move? Like, I stood on 35, trying to get a fair bit out there, and it's come back. So we'll see what happens after a few shots. I'll try and give it a bit more next shot. I'll probably stand maybe one more right of that and give it a bit more.
Looks a bit high.
Got it in a little bit, but Jesus, it kept going. So again, I'm probably going to stand 35, give it a bit more room, open up a shot. See if it comes. Maybe moving a little bit more off that, but you can see the ball just wants to keep going. It starts early, but it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. It's early. It's going to be that ball I need for the heavier stuff, as I talked about before.
So
I'm going to move my feet off that last one. You're alright, so you go. You me to go. Alright. Move my feet off that. Stand on about 30. I was on 36. You need a bit more room.
ooh,
Still just
that drive.
going. And I'm pretty sure, like, this is, when I said fresh house shot, this is probably 3 games after a few games.
Fourth game.
So, but I don't think there's been any left-handers on this pair, to give you guys a bit of perspective. So this is reasonably fresh for me. Yeah. So now what I'm probably going to try and do is move my feet left, try and take my hand out of it with the ball up,
Show you clear.
and see what we can do. Yeah, the ball's flaring like no tomorrow, but try and take my hand out of it and see what happens.
Where are we going?
Feet on about 18, try and get it up about 10 of the arrows, see what happens. Take my hand out of it. Don't give it left hand. I kept it left of the head pin, but I still gave it a little bit, and that ball just wanted to keep going. So it definitely is going to be that kind of ball where when there's a bit of volume, it's going to be absolutely incredible. But right now, not as much volume. The ball just wants to go. So Destiny Solid's probably going to be pretty close to being thrown right now.
Alright. Hey, Roland's making a ball change here.
So I'm going to go stand my feet on probably. There's one more difference between the 2 lanes. So 4 tends to have the characteristic. It just sucks that a little bit more. So I'm going to put my feet on 19 on this lane. So I was on 18 there before, just to try and get a bit of similarity. And try and, again, go through 10 of the arrows. I'll take my hand out of it and just try and see a bit of difference. Then I'm going to move in and... you could see the ball. I mean, if I did that with that would have been gone. I'll try and probably throw one more shot with that doing the same thing. If I get it right. I'll stand on 18 again because I really leaned on that last shot. Try and get it to 10 of the arrows. See what happens.
Oh, a bit outside. Carry.
So,
Head outside.
a little bit more length, retains energy a little bit more with that symmetrical core versus the asymmetrical core in the baller. Doesn't want to get started soon. Gets through the point of it. A little bit better.
Right, what do we got here?
So I had my feet on 38, 39 before with the baller. I'm going to try and stay in the same spot and see if we can see a bit of a difference. The ball's going to go a little longer. I'm going to give it the bit.
Gonna let it rip. Gotta go. And it went.
Yeah, it's just that 1-2 punch where if I need the ball to get through the front, there it is.